真正め、もう逃げられないよ。白き流星が天を裂き。
What's up, everybody? Soul here with another sort of Convallaria video, and today we're going to be talking about Team Meteor, or the Dream Team, if you will, maybe even the Meme Team. We're going to look at their kit, what they can do. I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm going to rate them based on our tier list rating values and how they place, and give you an indication of whether or not this might be a character you want to pull for. So, without any further ado, let's get right into it. First and foremost, let's take a look at the full kit here. I'm not going to go into great detail on these skills. I'm just going to give you an overall. I've already broke this down in the formula, and that will be given as well. But right now, what we have is their trait. And so after a non-instant skill active attack, you gain 1 stack of fat storage for 2 turns. At the start of the battle, you gain 2 stacks of fat storage for 2 turns and increase your attack, defense, and HP by 5%. So what we see is at 5 stars, this improves to where you gain 3 stacks of fat storage per non-instant attack. And then you start with 6 stacks of fat storage and increase your attack and defense and HP by 15%. And then after actively dispelling fat storage, which you do that by casting spells and abilities, we'll look at that in a little bit, you regain 3 stacks for 2 turns and you recover 1 energy. So this is really, really good. This looks like a trait you're going to absolutely want 5 stars. And honestly, it's kind of costly. That's not necessarily a good thing in all cases. Fat storage, just so you know, is a physical and magical shield equal to 10% of their HP, and it stacks up to 10 times. That's massive. That's absolutely huge. That's a ton of physical and magical shield. And so this character has the ability to create tremendous shields. So here we can see Righteous Hammer. This is going to give the character more fat storage, 130%, and it has a knockback. That's a reoccurring theme. We're going to see that it repeatedly, you have lots of knockback in their kit. They have this instant heal. It's an HP percentage heal. It's really good. You get 3 damage reduction, damage reduction 3, which is a 30% damage reduction. It's really good. And that's when they cast it on themselves. And then when they cast it on others, they give their fat storage to the character. Really, really good. So they have max 10 stacks, they give it away. Boom. That person's now got mega shields. That's really, really nice. And it's an instant ability. So there's definitely some good potential there with them. You have quite a few charges in their kit and so on and so forth. And more knockback right here. And this is an instant damage with that Righteous Lightning Ambush. And then you've got Cooperation, Division of Labor. And so when you have fat storage, your attack and defense is further increased by 10%. And then your maximum range of skills and your move is increased as well. And then, of course, when you reach that fat storage level 5, all effects are doubled. Really, really good stuff there. And then you've got Flash of Brilliance, instant, gain 4 stacks of fat storage. You're getting crit damage. Decent cast, 3 turn cooldown, no energy to use. You got your reactions here, and this is very standard at front defense. And then right here we got some bound resistance, which basically makes you immune to bound if you're unharmed. And then you gain 1 stack of fat storage. This is a decent reaction, definitely unique to the character. You got 2 different attacks here. You got one, it's a magical attack. Depending on how much fat storage you have, the more it does, the better it does. 150% magical damage, which is pulled from their physical attack stat. It's really interesting. We've seen that on other characters. I don't really care for this too much in my opinion, but this gives them some versatility, so it's decent. And then you've got Victory Meteor Piercing Sky, and so this is pretty massive. The range of it gets ridiculous based on how much fat storage you have. The range of this gets massive. The knockback of this gets massive. Really, really good stuff there. And then, of course, you got some good stuns. So this is like their big hitter. And then down here, you got your basic attacks. Another charge, another knockback, and a basic attack. Hot grilled meat impact. Really interesting. Fair duel of many against few. This is big damage, 180%. And then, you're dispelling all debuffs and then dispelling all their buffs. And it gives something really interesting here. If the character has 10 stacks of fat storage, dispels all stacks, and you gain damage reduction 9. That's massive. That's a lot of damage reduction. And then over here you got remarkable tonnage, worth boasting. And so this is a passive where any non-instant active attack is going to do double damage, and you're going to have, you know, when you're hitting somebody with, not double damage, when you hit somebody with knockback immunity, you're going to do bonus 70% damage. And then whenever there's a collision, they're going to take bonus 70% damage. This is a good way to buff your attacks and do even more damage. Really interesting stuff to see there. Yeah, this character is really interesting, but honestly, it seems like their two niches are that knockback obviously is pretty huge. So if you're going in this stage where you need knockback, this character's going to come in screaming. They have so many different ways to knock back and knock back hard. They got good charge, good movement, and then the other one is survivability. They're creating so much shieldage for themselves, it makes them really tank worthy. And so you're actually going to see that right here on their stats as far as the formula and what we put together. They have massive tanking ability. Their ability to tank is really, really good. It's up there near max score, and then with that knockback and them being able to knock back so much, their knockback rating, their utility rating, I'm sorry, is also through the roof. Really, really high. So really good stuff there from them. Really good ability to get in there, survive quite a bit, and do a decent amount for the team as far as knocking the enemies around. But aside from that, their damage is honestly decent. It's not the worst, but it's decent. And then they have some magical damage, so that gives them a little versatility. And then they got the ability to buff themselves in what they're doing, which is decent as well. And then you got a little bit of a stun. They're a well-rounded character. However, if you look at the total score, it's more evidence. Well, it's not evidence anymore. It's undeniable. It's power creep. And so even though they've released what I would argue is probably a mid character, they still rank very, very highly compared to characters that are a part of the game in its original conception. And so this character is very much strong and stronger than characters that predate it. However, going forward, I can see this character quickly falling off and not having tremendous value. It's very much a timestamp, which you could argue is all characters. I'm not sure. Their specialty, once again, I'm not trying to repeat myself, is knockback, and then their ability to shield themselves. And they can share that in a very limited way, but they can share that with their team. So that is their niche. I think that you have to have a very high star rating to really see this shine and do well. That makes them expensive, and for me, something that you wouldn't necessarily want to target. And so I would actually suggest anyone who's free to play and concerned about their spending that doesn't just like this character because of their aesthetic to avoid this character. Unless you're interested in one of those two things in particular, or you find the character itself appealing, I would avoid those things and stay away from it as best as possible. Save those Luxite. So that's my opinion on that. Looking ahead, if you do end up pulling for the character and you're not sure what to do as far as making those pulls, I'm going to put an image right here. This is what I'm going to suggest. This is what I think is the tarot that relates to this character. I see them being a strong representation of the sun. And so the sun is freedom, fun, harmony, and then of course reversed, the sun tarot means, excessive enthusiasm and unreal expectations, things like that. And so the sun really just comes through strong on this card. You see this in their 5-star banner art, or what will be their summoning banner art. It's very bright. It's very fun. The imagery is very much that of, Crown of Thorns. You see that in multiple places. In the Sun Tarot, they have this interesting design that actually looks a lot like what she's wearing on her top half, and similar to Barbecue's helmet. And then you see the draped red cloth that's similar to what they're wearing in different parts. I have it there on his neck and what he's wearing right there. And then you see Barbecue's sweat is very much like the stars on the tarot card. But more than anything, I really think the XIX 20, the 19 there, the Roman numeral. I think that's really something you see multiple times in the card occurring there with that tic-tac-toe. You see it in her belt loop and straps, and what she's got. Even the pouch has got a gold embroidering of two swords crossed. Kind of looks like an X. You can see like an eye going through it, and that's probably like a third sword. Regardless, the imagery is strong there of it. And then even her fingers and the way that they're kind of, to me that's kind of awkward and interesting how they put those fingers in her hand that way. She's slapping the board. Usually when I slap something, my hands are spread evenly apart. My fingers, not my hands. But yeah, I think that's interesting how they chose to illustrate this. And it all could be for nothing. But that is my guess and my suggestion. If we are looking for something deeper and a tarot card that links to this character, I see the Sun's Tarot coming through the strongest in the imagery provided. And so, really interesting character. Fun to see something different. I'm excited to play them, to test them and see what they can do. But what we can see right now, they look like they're very niche. Decent damage at best. Slight versatility. But for the most part, they have high survivability in their ability to create shielding for themselves and consistently. And then on top of that, they are coming in with those heavy knockbacks. This is, in my opinion, the meme team and not the dream team. So if you like them and you're going after them, there's nothing wrong with that. Drop down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let me know. Are you going to pull for them? Are you planning on running them, testing them? Are you hoping to get them? Are you going to avoid them like the plague? What are you going to do? Tell me down in the comments. And then let me know what you think. What tarot do you think's related to Team Meteor? Do you think that there's anything even to it? And then, last thing I'll say is, what do you think about this power creep? And even though we have a character that's very much mid, they're very much stronger as far as their ratings. They have so much in their kit that they're really overpowering these older characters. I want to know all your thoughts down in the comments down below. If you're interested, make sure you jump down there and tell me all about it. A huge shout out and thank you to my Patreon members. You really make all this possible for me to make all the content, make the pulls, get the characters, and to make the guides. I'm sincerely grateful for your support. If you're interested in joining us, make sure you check out the Patreon link down in the description. And then there's also a link for our Discord where we talk all things sort of Convallaria and then some. I'd be more than happy to see you in there and to have you join our conversation. And yeah, please drop me a like and a subscribe if you don't mind. Sorry to ask. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day and great luck in all of your sort of Convallaria adventures and then some. Until next time, I'll catch you later. Bye.